Good day and welcome, I'm Mediocre, and today I'm gonna talk about Lords of the Fallen, because I wanted to make a review of this, and I don't want to do it anymore, for a simple fact. I'm not able to get even to half of the game, and that is mostly because I'm not enjoying it anymore. After like 6 or 7 hours, I just stopped really caring about the game. And I was thinking about the reasons why I stopped caring, and I found out, and I was at least analyzing that, and found out why. At least I believe that I found out. So this is more or less a video about why I actually stopped playing, and what are the good things about Lords of the Fallen, but it's not a full review. It's more or less like an after 6 or 7 hours impression. So, what are the good things about Lords of the Fallen? There isn't a lot of them. A lot of stuff is done, let's say, to its mediocrity. It's really average in a lot of things. The good thing is, when compared to its main competitor Dark Souls, if you can call it a competition, it's that it has a standard story and characters. It's nice for once to have in this kind of game someone who really talks. You have quests, you have side quests. That is nice. It's not just go there, do that, or more or less just do that. Yeah, that's how Dark Souls always works. So that is nice. Also, there is this level of linearity within the game, which makes its design or map design more like Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 3 and less like Dark Souls 1. I would say that it is very similar to Dark Souls 3 in a lot of ways. And even in terms of looks, actually, maybe it's the snow, and maybe it's the dungeons. That might be it. However, it has a lot of problems. I was able to find 3 major issues that I have with the game, and a few minor problems that I will mention after a while. So now let's go into the major problems. Now, there are huge difficulty spikes. The difficulty spikes are insane. For example, you get to a minion, or let's call it minion creature, which you can kill in, let's say, 5 or 6 hits if you're using a staff, which is like quick but doesn't deal a lot of damage. And well, they have, let's say, the enemies that you find on the first real map have between 80. The other one has like 160, and the other one has like 200 health, which is okay. That, I believe, is fine. You have just more sturdier enemies. However, what you need is just to turn around one corner and you will find a guy who doesn't deal 20 damage to you, but 100 can kill you in one shot more or less, or one combo, and has a shield and 500 to 600 health, which is ridiculous difference. Also, behind this guy you have a vermin, which actually looks exactly like the one which is the weakest 80 health minion that you can find on the map, but this one for some unknown reason has 350, because they just decided to boost it without any real visible difference. Maybe it has a weapon. I'm not sure really about the differences. Also, there is an archer who is stronger, and behind the archer there are another 2 of the guards with the shield and 500 to 600 health, which are almost impossible to deal with really at this point just by trying to fight them. Okay, you have to use your gauntlet or kill them with magic. You can't really go straight forward, roll around them, try to hit them, because they have a shield. And shielded enemies in this game are kind of problematic because they cover extremely quickly. They don't give you that slight opening that is usual in Dark Souls games. No. These ones are real difficult. So these are the difficulty spikes. With this, there's connected another thing, which is the weight of impact and weapon speed. And, well, you can see it right now. It just lacks something. if you have staff is the only weapon which I really liked. It had a bit of impact. It wasn't such a heavy impact because it was supposed to be a quick weapon, so that went well. But once I shifted to switched to any other weapon, I always felt like this is just passing through like butter. There is so much time spent at the beginning of the animation before the attack, but once the attack itself hits, you just don't feel it. It's really just like the enemy isn't even there. And it can be extremely well seen in some of the finishing moves with some of the weapons, because I really like the staff one, once again, for a simple reason. You hit the guy around the head, they turn around, you what's that? Sewer them with it? Is it the word? Yeah, you stab them with the staff, and the staff explodes. That's a really nice one. And there is also a bit of impact to it. However, if you use a great sword, they just, like, you hit the enemy, they go to the ground, or they fall to the ground, and you just, like, slide the sword in them. But you really slide it in as you would slide a hot knife into butter. No strength at all needed. It just, like, slides on itself, and then it gets back without any visible strength required by the wielder, in this case you. And that is a huge problem, and that is the major problem I have with the game, because the combat is not therefore as enjoyable if you are supposed to go for other weapons. I found that agility, like strength weapons, are extremely powerful, from what I found out, but I don't like them. So I went for agility weapons. Agility weapons are not as strong as strength weapons in general, but they are more fun to play with. So what to do then, right? I'm not sure about this. Like, if you have to use just one type of weapon, not that great. And let's go to the third problem, which are hitboxes. They are horrendous. And sometimes you will find that with a boss, sometimes you will find it with a standard enemy, that you think that you should hit them, and you actually see the weapon pass through the enemy, at least part of the weapon pass through the enemy. In terms of bosses, this is kind of a problem, because it looks like you are hitting it right at the edge of the chest, but you're not, because like there is slight hitbox which is slightly smaller than the boss itself is. And it doesn't really make sense sometimes. Maybe it's just my feeling. I actually searched around the internet, and it's not just mine, but maybe it's just a perception thing, perception of depth problem. Maybe, but it happened to me with one of the bosses, which is like a gravedigger or something like that, a boss on the graveyard, where what actually happens is that you have to hide in one of the shrines if the boss starts like casting large insta-kill spell. And I was in the shrine, however I was only halfway in the center of the shrine. I was in the shrine but not really at the glowing center. One of my legs was out and I died. However, next time I did the same thing and I didn't. Which means that there is really like 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters difference in terms of screen. I'm gonna say, let's say, there's like 5 pixel difference, or maybe even less, between you dying and you surviving. Even though on first sight, on first glance, it really looks the same. And now to the minor problems. The boss design is just sometimes annoying. They tend to spawn stuff all the time. They tend to use shields, and that just prolongs the whole boss fight. I can't recall a boss fight in Dark Souls which would last 20-25 minutes. And actually Commander in here, which is the second boss that you encounter, lasted to me 20-25 minutes, which was ridiculous. I also had to try one boss, let's say hour and a half altogether, and I'm not counting this into 6 to 7 hours of gameplay. And well, that is a bit of a problem. The bosses are just annoying. It's fun when you beat them. It's not fun when you beat them. You have this rewarding feeling when you beat them still, but you're not really enjoying it. Now, another minor problem is enemy variety, where they are just reskinning it and giving them more health, and also they are reusing bosses, which you can see right now, at least I believe. The guy at the beginning of the video was the first boss, and right now it's just like a standard enemy. There are even these changes in posture, changes in animation, in the way it handles, because the minion itself has 4 stages. Why didn't you even change that? Well, and as I said again, there is not enough different weapons. Great swords, great hammers, swords, axes, they handle similarly. Daggers are different and staffs are different. But the previous ones, well, I don't know. Like, buying a game for the full price of $20, I wouldn't recommend at all. Buying it for $150 or something really low or part of the bundle, yeah, try it. Maybe you like it, maybe you won't, but my recommendation would probably be do not buy this for full price, even right now, even for the 20. This is a game that could be fine for 5. Like, put it on the sale at the same time as Dark Souls 1, and Dark Souls 1 will beat it every single time. Maybe it's just because it's a better game. Well, hope you enjoy this. Please, if you have played Lords of the Fallen, share your experience. Other people might like it. And well, thanks for watching and see you next time.